Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sparing Partners. Um, Today, we are going to take a little bit of a different track than I have in the latest podcasts, where I did a lot of podcasts on Wi-Fi and how you have Wi-Fi in the enterprise, at home, and so on and so forth. And now, today, we're going to talk about sort of a very complementary topic, which is cellular on laptops. And this is because on your laptop, everybody has Wi-Fi. You can't, that's the minimum. How would you possibly think of a laptop without Wi-Fi? Although initially, very, very well, way back, it was a question whether it was too expensive to add Wi-Fi. And now, effectively, you don't even have, I don't have Ethernet on my laptop. I only have Wi-Fi. But also on my Wi-Fi, oddly enough, I do not have cellular. And I'm sure many of you are in the same situation. And so we're talking about why is it so? Um, isn't that odd when you think about it? And so I have the pleasure today to talk to Giovanni Severini, who is principal group manager at Microsoft, and he works on this kind of issues among others. It's part of his job. And I've known Giovanni for a long time, and I'm glad to have him on the podcast. And so, Giovanni, welcome to Sparing Partners.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you very much for having me in this very nice podcast that you have.
Yes, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And what I would like to ask you is to tell the people listening in who you are, what you do, and why you care about cellular connectivity in laptops.
Yeah, my current work is with Microsoft. Even though, let me be clear, everything I'm going to say in this podcast, it's my personal point of view and personal opinion, does not imply any official Microsoft communication. So my current job in Microsoft is responsible of the product management for all the connectivity on Windows client. So when you connect your Windows laptop to anything, including Wi-Fi, cellular, VPN, Bluetooth, sensors, even connectivity to printer, any connectivity on the Windows client is under my responsibility of my team, basically, the team that I lead. And this is part of what I've been during all my career, because I've always worked in the telco space, in the telecommunication and connectivity. I started, the three main experience I have are 10 years in Accenture. After that, 10 more years is just a case in Ericsson, which is the main network provider for telecommunication. And now a little bit more than 5 years in Microsoft. I've been living and working in more than 10 countries. So clearly I'm Italian from my name and from my accent, but I've been living in so many different parts of the world, and I'm very proud of it.
Well, and that's excellent because it's important to have, the whole perspective because connectivity is essential, but then the network is essential and the device and the strength is to put all of this together, which is what we want to talk about today.
And
Right?
if I can add something,
Yes.
we are in the period of the AI hype. Today, everything is AI. But in order to use the AI at your best, you must be always connected to the cloud, because the computation of the AI happens on the cloud. So the connectivity becomes even more vital and crucial in today's AI world.
You're absolutely right. And I would say that it's even more than AI, that so much more happens in the cloud progressively. And so even if you have a laptop, and I used to think, well, I have a laptop, I don't need to be connected right now, just get connected later and sync. It just doesn't work anymore. It's
Yeah.
just like you just realize all sorts of things. So connectivity is not only when you are at home or in your office, it's wherever you are and you use your device, whatever your device is, needs
Absolutely.
to be connected. And yet, when it gets to your cell phone has Wi-Fi and cellular, no questions asked. But
Yeah.
when it gets to the laptop, I mean, I don't know, I don't even know how many, but I would imagine a very small percentage of laptops have a SIM card.
So yeah, you are right. The laptop that are cellular enabled, cellular connectivity enabled, are a very small percentage in the market. And out of those, very few of those have the inactive SIM into it. So we are talking about a few millions in the world against the more than 1 billion, actually 1.5 billion laptop existing in the world. So the percentage is very low. Uh, there are many reasons for that. We can explore
Mm.
some of those,
Mm.
even though I don't have the crystal ball to understand why this is happened in the past. However, I believe that now it's the time to change this perception of the laptop as a Wi-Fi only or Wi-Fi plus Ethernet only device. I believe that in today's world, the addition of the cellular connectivity is a must for the modern way of living and working and using your laptop. When I say laptop, I mean
Mhm.
devices in general. So I include also the tablet, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, right. Now, before we go there, just wanted to maybe we can touch briefly on the eSIM part because I used to have a dongle with a SIM, and that's kind of like a little bit clunky. But now with eSIM, that argument is gone because you can have it's just basically a software thing. You don't need the dongle. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely right. eSIM is a technology that is not new at all. It exists since more than 10 years. However, the mobile operators had already a very conservative approach to it because they saw a risk that I can easily switch between operators if I have easiness of the eSIM, which is partially true, and I'm in favor of it because I'm in favor of giving freedom to the users to choose what they want. Then, what really changed in the eSIM perception is a big company which I cannot mention here, based on the Bay Area, creating nice iPhones. Because of them, because especially the wearable part of their products, they pushed a lot to the introduction and the embedding of eSIM in all the devices. And now eSIM are way more present, and to be frank, much more easy to use, to be installed, and so on. I recently went to, so I'm based in the US, but I recently went to Europe for a travel, and I just downloaded an eSIM from a local operators, and I used it on my phone very easily, very seamlessly. So no obstacle at all, no physical obstacle at all. Maybe there is a little bit of a cultural obstacle, but this is why we do this podcast to help people to win against these obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, eSIM is actually surprising that is not everybody uses it. It should be just the absolute default, but it's not yet. However, we're making progress.
Yes,
And yet, I have to say I have eSIM on my phone, but not on my laptop.
yeah.
So
So
why
go
is
ahead.
it so? Or why is it people don't feel like they need cellular connectivity natively on their laptop?
So again, I don't have the final answer. There are many reasons. One of the reasons is that the laptop is still perceived as something that has to stay on a desk and reside there. Which, if you think to our lives, it's no more true since many years. We go out and work in bars, we work in cafes, we work in hotels, we work in airport. So thinking of a laptop as just on the desk type of device is a little bit old way of thinking. So we have to help people to change their perception. The second thing is, and here I want to highlight one of the potential problems. Uh, People believe that Wi-Fi now is available everywhere, which is true. No, you can have Wi-Fi in cafes, you can have Wi-Fi in airport, in hotels. But the real question is, how secure are those Wi-Fi connections? So, I say a few minutes ago about the AI period, but in reality, this is a period of two things in the technology. One is the AI, and one is the cybersecurity. These are the two main, how can I say, driver of the market today in the telecommunication, in the high tech. And if you are concerned, and you should be concerned about cybersecurity, then going and connect your laptop or even your phone to any Wi-Fi available, it's not the wisest thing that you can do. So yes, Wi-Fi is available everywhere, but the security is not available everywhere. And the people behind the big hacking of computers cannot wait anything else than you go and connect to a false network in the airport. And there are several examples, even on the press, about it. This becomes especially more important for enterprises. So companies giving laptops to their employees to perform their regular job, and these employees going everywhere and connecting from everywhere, they open such an easy way, backdoor to the hackers, that companies should be very worried about allowing them to connect to any Wi-Fi available. So availability of Wi-Fi is one of the cultural obstacles, but at the same time, it should be one of the trigger to start using more cellular.
Yeah, and yet it's not happening. I mean, the progress has been very slow. And is it because, like when I need to have a cellular connectivity on my laptop, I do tethering? Is that the reason? I mean, or could that be a reason?
Yeah, of course you can do tethering with your phone, but it's similar to the dongle. It's a little bit clunky. Yeah, you have to turn on the mobile hotspot. You have to accept a lower speed or higher latency if you want. You have to accept that you cannot use at your best the phone at the same time. So yes, you can do tethering if you are just to send an email or read a web page. But if you have to do actual job, working on important things and running a script and running a report that needs to access the cloud and data here and there, tethering again is not the best solution. Um, I think that here there is also a little bit of laziness from some of the industry player. And here I'm in particular referring to the mobile operators that have not understood the potentiality of putting a SIM, a cellular line, into the laptops.
Yeah. I have to say that it's not just laptops. They don't want to give you multiple SIMs for, like, for instance, two different phones even. which I never understood because I have two phones and why not having two SIMs, especially with eSIM, multiple eSIMs on the same phone. So, um, you know, depending on how I feel, I can take one phone or the other. They don't seem to be much into that, even though the cost of provisioning a SIM is not too high. But for a laptop, it seems like even if they don't charge for it, I mean, or it could be a way to return the customer, or they might be able to charge an additional fee for that. So why not?
Again, in my opinion, it's a sort of marketing and cultural laziness from these operators. They are not able to think out the box. But let me give
Hmm.
you what I think should be the right approach from the mobile operators. So, first of all, I'm not talking business here, not technology. The mobile operators, the value of them on the market of the mobile operators depends on few things, and one of the most important is how many active lines they have, because from the active lines they transform it into ARPU, so how much the average spending is, and they understand what are the revenues, and so blah 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 blah. So active lines for the mobile operators is a very important parameter to be used in order to define their value on the market. So for 25, 30 years, the mobile operators had a focus on uh, increment to increase the number of lines, the number of people using the cellular network. However, today, especially in the most developed part of the world, the eSIM or SIM market is saturated. Each of us has at least one phone and one line. There is no more space to grow. There is no more space to have more lines that they can sell. So in the last 5 years, what we have seen? We have seen that the mobile operators, in order to increase the number of lines, they are stealing each other lines now. So instead of growing, the number of lines is the same, but they're stealing each other lines because there is no more space to grow. And in order to steal each other lines, they have to play on two things: services and price. So the price of the mobile connectivity is lowering more and more. And this is eating the margin of the mobile operators. You know very well the European situation. In Europe, you can buy for a €6 a month a full cellular line, unlimited, with everything loaded into it. This is the context. If this is the context, the mobile operator are forgetting or not noticing that there are 1.5 billion devices out there, the laptops, that are virgin from this point of view. They can easily put a new line into that and adding line to their value. If they want to do this, they should change their business model. They should not, in my opinion, my humble opinion, they should not focus only on selling a line, a SIM, a connectivity, but they should start selling an end-to-end service. In other words, if I'm a mobile operator, I should go to Monica and say, Monica, in order to live your life and to work, you need to buy a laptop, so hardware. Then you have to buy an operating system. Then you have to buy software, productivity software. Then you have to buy productivity. And then you have to get support from each of these components, which it's very not easy for the user. So the mobile operator should say, you know what, Monica, give me, I'm saying just a number, $50 a month, and don't worry about anything. I will send you the laptop already loaded with the software, with operating system, with connectivity, and that's it. And every 3 years, I will change your laptop and I will patch the software anytime it's needed, always new software, and so on. So they have to switch from selling a line to selling a service. That will be a win-win. The final customer will forget all the problems of dealing with the 4 or 5 different providers, and the mobile operator will build a loyalty on the customer and will have a recurrent revenue every month. I think
And I
that
guess
if
it's not any different from what they do with the phone because you don't usually buy the phone. Well, I guess in Europe you do a little bit more, but you don't buy the phone
yeah,
separate from you go to the operator store, get your phone, and
yeah,
everything is taken
yeah,
care of. You don't
same,
pick the operating system, even just like, well, it comes with the phone, right? You
yeah,
can't.
same model that it should be applied to the laptop, with the difference that laptop are again virgin from mobile operator or
Mhm.
cellular connectivity. So there is a full big space available for them to compete with.
Do you know of operators that are offering that? Because what they do is that they would offer a laptop plan.
So I
Or
I,
you
I
do the
don't
tethering. Yeah.
I don't operator that offers that, but an operator that are thinking of it. Of course, I cannot disclosure
Mhm.
so much, but
Yeah.
yes, there is
Yeah.
both in Europe and in US, there are operators that are thinking of this kind of different model.
Yeah.
But again, we think to the mobile operators with as a very modern type of companies. No, they are very conservative. they, they should a little bit change their way of thinking. I want
Yeah.
to add another incentive or trigger that should make the mobile operator excited of this opportunity. You know, and you have also discussed many times in your podcast that in the last years, the mobile operators all over the world, they have spent billions of dollars in upgrading their network to 5G. However, they have a huge problem in monetization of their 5G network because there are no killer application. There is nothing today, as of now, that you can do on 5G that you cannot really already do on the 4G on the existing one. But 5G gives a couple of opportunities different from 4G. One is the security. 5G, from a security point of view, is hundreds of times better than the 4G. Another one is the network slicing. So the opportunity to assign a slice of the network only to specific application. Think, of course, for example, gamers. If you give a slice of the network to the gaming only, the gamers will be more than happy to pay a little bit more to have no latency, to have the right speed, and so on. So thanks to the 5G, the mobile operators can do something more to monetize their network on the laptops. But again, they are a little bit conservative.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, that it seems like it's an opportunity either to sell it as sort of an additional sort of plan, or it could just be an extension. So like you just get another SIM card and off you go. You just get more traffic if you pay by volume, or you just pay extra for the other SIM card.
Yeah, the model should be similar to your wearable. So if you
Yeah.
have the ring or the clock or watch, whatever, you have an eSIM there. I mean, at the end of the day,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
just another device with a eSIM. And normally, you either you pay a little bit more, or you are
Yeah.
within a plan that has everything included. It should be very similar to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and actually the advantage there is that you keep your identity. So so you don't every time you create a new account, everything is
Correct.
different. You have to set it up. But in this case, you would kind of come in, so the
Yeah,
laptop would be part of your cloud of devices.
absolutely, absolutely.
And so there is,
You yeah, you have a set of devices with the same account, same one bill only, and you can check your usage and so on. There are other potential application again. And since you talk a lot about Wi-Fi, now I'm saying something that is competitor of Wi-Fi. Um, think of how many small, medium business exist in the world, or even big businesses, big corporate, but having small branches in remote areas of the world. So uh, offices with, I don't know, 4 to 10 employees. And these offices, they have to set up an entire Wi-Fi infrastructure to allow their employees to work in the office with the Wi-Fi. They have to set up the cabling, they have to set up the access point, a server that is managing everything, and so on. And that infrastructure costs. It's a cost for the company. Why don't you completely give up on the infrastructure? You just don't build infrastructure and give your employees a 5G connected laptop that
yeah.
create a connectivity for you for free, meaning without an infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, because as you say, I mean, clearly it's not like and you have a big, well, most enterprises already have Wi-Fi, so they're not going to give up. But there are situations where that's not, or you just might not really need it because they're small, they're remote, and whatever. Now, if I can be devil's advocate here, and I'm not talking for myself because I'm a heavy user of laptop. I mean, I have my cellular phones, but I'd rather use my laptop. But I know a lot of people. It
That's
surprises
our
me on a
age.
personal level that especially the younger generations, that they hardly use a laptop, like they hardly use email. And so is that a worry, or is that could be a reason why operators are not too keen on this?
I have a 21 years old daughter,
Hmm.
and I can see the big difference between my way of using technology and her way to use the technology. If I have to write a email, a complex email or even document, I prefer to turn on my laptop, have my keyboard, and have
Yeah.
a
Hmm.
monitor, I mean a screen, and write it down. For my daughter, it's exactly the opposite. Her main device is the phone, even for documents, even for complex email. This is the way this generation grew up. I mean, it's not good or bad.
That's what
It's
it
just
is.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. The situation. So for consumer, yes, there will be a trend in which when this new generation is becoming a little bit older, they will keep using their phone rather than the laptop. But this is for the consumer case. For the enterprise, it comes different thing. Consider how many times I have to run a complex report to extract data from the cloud and having a Power BI report available. Or if I have to use a complex Excel worksheet. In this case, the phone, for the dimension of it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a form
for
factor issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. Because from a CPU point of view, they could absolutely do it, but from a form factor point of view, it becomes not easy. So again, I don't have the crystal ball, but I don't think that for enterprises and business purpose, the phone is going to replace laptop in the future.
Yeah. No, I'm completely with you. Actually, for 1 week I was without my laptop, only phone. And I said, well, I can do something. Well, really not. I mean, you can tell people I cannot do this, I'll get back to you next week or whatever. But there are some things that you really need. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, what can I say? But you do need it. And so the other thing is that operators could just have, develop not just a relationship with the user, but with the enterprise to have plans, which is actually
Sure.
be a good way to get into the enterprise where in a situation where operators have been trying to penetrate the enterprise and not been so successful. So,
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So when I think to add mobile connectivity to laptop, I think as a main target the enterprises.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So do you have it?
Security
Yeah,
is number one thing for enterprises. Yeah.
yeah. So do you think it's going to
Uh,
change, or is it what's going to? Because it just seems like it's like the marginal cost of adding support for laptops without in addition to tethering. Um, why not?
um, so I don't know if the laptop will the connected laptop will increase, but it's not a costing reason, not at all. I believe it's a reason of a, an older way to see the things. Some elephant that is still getting old instead of becoming an agile. And I believe that once the first operator thinking a little bit more in agile mode will start this, then it will be an avalanche. All the others will follow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
But yeah.
a suggestion that I can leave to your the people listening to your podcast. If you work in a mobile operator, listen to me. Start
Yeah.
investing in the connectivity with laptops.
Yeah, and I guess, when you think about all the private 5G, in the private 5G, everybody talks about, automation, all IoT devices, which clearly are crucial, but what about laptops, which still account for a huge percentage of the traffic
Yes.
generated within the enterprise? Because
So
on the laptop, you start doing the stuff that really takes a lot of bandwidth.
yeah, private 5G is in big scale what I was telling about the small offices. So basically, private 5G in big plants, in big offices, they act as a Wi-Fi, a private Wi-Fi connectivity. You just don't
Yeah, yeah,
realize that. And then those laptops for those employees needs also to switch from private to public and back when the employee goes out to visit customer or supplier or to travel for work. So yes, private 5G is another potential application. See, here I'm not saying that connectivity, mobile connectivity on laptop should replace Wi-Fi. I'm saying that
yes.
it should be another opportunity that the industry should give to the user. Exactly as you said at the beginning, since we are almost at the end, you said at the beginning, uh, on my phone, I have both cellular connectivity and Wi Fi connectivity. I don't even realize when they switch to each other. It should be exactly the same on a laptop.
Yeah, absolutely. And that because that's the thing is that what you value is the service, is the connectivity. Where that
Yes,
comes from
exactly.
as a user. It doesn't matter whether
Yeah,
you're
correct,
enterprise or
correct.
wherever you are.
You don't want
Even if
even
you're a
know if
sensor.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. You don't want even know if it's a cellular or Wi-Fi. You just want to be always connected because the dependency
yeah,
from the cloud today is total.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's see what happens. I hope it does because when you think about it, it's again, Wi-Fi is in many places, but sometimes you just don't have it, or it's not the kind of thing like, when I'm in an airport, I don't want to do any banking or anything like that because God knows I
See,
don't have any control.
see,
Mm,
I believe that the perception of the risk of connecting to any Wi-Fi, it's not there yet, and this is very dangerous.
yeah. Well, that's the problem with security that we all understand that there is a risk there, but a lot of people do not perceive it as a risk
Yeah.
until they have a problem themselves.
Yes.
And
Correct.
that's too late because at that point you're gonna be there screaming and well, you should have done something probably before or differently. So anyway, Giovanni, thank you so much. This was very interesting conversation, and I hope to hear back from the operator and see what their take is on this because I think it would be a great thing to have on laptops.
And if someone want to contact me, I'm on LinkedIn. I
Yeah,
think you will.
yeah, we'll have that so they can get in touch with you. Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you all for listening in. Do subscribe to the feed and spread the word if you like it. Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you, Giovanni.